Hi guys. Hi. So let me know if you can hear me if you're actually watching right now. Please let me know if you can hear me in the comments. Just write in the comments for me and let me know if you can hear me. Um, yeah, please let me know if you can hear me in the comments section. Hello. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. I think we're just having some audio issues. But let me know if you're watching, if you guys can hear me, because I was trying to. Oh, hi guys.
Hey.
Hey, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you guys now. That's awesome.
The computer was not working. So sorry about that.
Isn't that nice when that happens?
Yeah. Especially when the live stream is going.
I know. All right. So you guys have to angle your cameras so that I can see Vivian in the video as well. Let me see if maybe if I do it this way. Okay, actually this is better. But your camera is cutting your heads off a little bit.
Oh.
Okay, now you're good.
The computer real quick, so we'll exit off this.
So let me put this one in.
Oh.
Okay.
Is it better now?
But there's an echo. I don't know if you're streaming like on another device.
Is there still an echo? We just closed the.
All right, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Yeah, I'm glad you guys could join. My voice is still rough because I've been like kind of sick. So if I sound very romantic for you, just take it. um anyway, so guys, thank you so much for joining us. I can see so many people already in the studios. Gloria, you're welcome. Joan, Kivo, you guys are awesome. um Today's a Saturday, and I just wanted a quick shout out. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I don't know where you're watching from, and I see some people from Uganda, my friends. I think some are actually Sam and Viv's friends. So we appreciate you joining us today. My voice is rough, so in case you're wondering, I've been sick all week. I haven't actually been able to leave my bed. I've been just like coming downstairs, grab tea, run back, sit in my bed on my computer, work some hours, and then just pass out. But I had this awesome couple here, and we had scheduled an interview for today, and I didn't want to disappoint them.
We're
Because
not
I know,
just.
like when you schedule something and then something else comes up, you end up never having time to go back to it. So
Yeah.
I'm so glad we could do it today. So without further ado, there's a guy, there's a guy on YouTube who everybody makes fun of. He says, "Without further ado," like he says it in an accent. So everybody calls him "Without further ado." So let me introduce my awesome couple in the studio, Sam and Viv. If you guys can say hello to everyone who's watching, that would be amazing.
Hey, everybody. I'm Sam.
And I'm Viv.
We're happy to be here. Thanks, Brenda, for having us on.
Let me close my door real quick. Hold on just a second.
Hey.
Okay, we're here. Okay. Yeah, so how have you guys been? How is everything? How is winter time there?
We've been really good. Viv has been here for 3 months now.
Yeah.
And
Viv, now you can say you're American now. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know.
Holy.
American by marriage.
American by marriage, huh? Do ginger tea. I see you. Liz is in the studio. I mean, not in the studio, but she's watching. Yes, I am doing that, Liz. I'm doing a whole bunch of ginger tea and garlic. I was telling my friends, I smell like an Indian kitchen.
Oh.
Like I'm a walking Indian kitchen. Like I sweat, I smell garlic. I sweat, I smell ginger. But we're gonna be so fine. So you guys, thank you again so much. We're just like chit chatting here. But I'm honored to have you in the studio. I can't wait to hear your story. And we get these questions a lot. Like when you are an immigrant, for example, you moved from Uganda. Like Viv is from Uganda. Sam is American. But we get these questions all the time, like how did you get there? How was your visa process? Now, if it happens that you're in interracial relationship, the questions just keep flowing. How did you guys meet? And how is it like? Can you get me a Mzungu? So the list is the list is endless. The list just becomes endless. But so to start off with you guys, tell us a little bit of your story. Maybe you could say you're from two different continents. How did you guys meet? And what's your like brief story about you guys?
Sure, I could start from my side. I went to Uganda because of Peace Corps, and Peace Corps is just like a volunteer organization with the government. So they put you on 2-year assignments. So I went into northern Uganda, just outside of Gulu, where Viv was at. And I just kind of lived the life in that area. And we kind of ran into each other a little bit during those 2 years. And I went on to stay a third year, which is where we really got to know each other further and began dating. But yeah, Viv, do you want to tell about where you're from?
Well, I was living in Gulu. I'm from Kitgum. Kitgum is my hometown. It's farther north, like away from Gulu, northwards. And I lived in Gulu around the time that Sam was there. And I used to see him a lot because we actually had many friends in common, but we weren't that close. And we used to like attend same, gigs and
Liz, those things just happen sometimes. No planning.
Yeah. There's another in this Gloria who said, a great couple with couple goals when they wear matching colors.
Oh my God. I don't know, but it just happened. It wasn't planned.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, just keep on. I won't show you the comments because they'll distract.
Yeah, so I was just doing my own stuff in Gulu, working. I'm a teacher by profession, so yeah. And it happens that Gulu is a very small town. You know people, someone who knows somebody who knows somebody, and just like that, we happened to share the same circle of friends. But we didn't get so close. We didn't talk so much, like directly with each other, until he had actually left Uganda. And I was like, oh, now I started noticing. I was like, I never used to talk to this person so much, and he has left. And actually, I knew I liked him, but there was no much connection between us. So it happens around that time, 2018. Sam had returned back to the US, and his brother was getting married, his younger brother. And when he left Uganda, that's when we now really started talking. Like the two of us got in touch. We started communicating more often, although, like I would send a message, he would reply after a month, and I'd be like, this guy is not serious.
After a month.
Sam, that's terrible,
And even me, like I was just doing my own stuff, and I think I really got serious and became more interested in him when he told me he was coming back to Uganda. I was like, okay, okay, this sounds good. Hopefully, we will hang out more together this time round. And I was like, yeah. Personally, I wasn't dating around that time, and I was just, you there's a level where you're a lady and you just work on yourself and you do your stuff, make yourself happy and not, seek for that happiness. I was in that state of my life where I was just, independent and
So it's
doing
called self-discovery.
that one. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, and that happens to be the time that, Sam came back, and then
Sam, you
we
had to go back, huh?
he had to
Yeah.
somehow.
Well, there was an optional like third year for Peace Corps,
Mhm.
and so I did that optional third year.
Of
And
course, you
actually,
had to do it. Like, it wasn't even just because it was an option, because Liz was there. I mean, Vivian was there.
No, but we weren't dating by then. Yeah,
You
anyway.
you don't know.
Naturally.
He probably he was there. He was like, I gotta go back and see Vivian.
uh-huh. At least the thought was there. I
Yeah,
was like,
right.
I wonder what
Okay.
happens if I go back.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, actually, the third year I came back, I went into Kitgum, which was I was
Which is now my
relocated into
hometown.
Kitgum. Yeah,
Mhm.
so we kind of had that common point. We're like, oh, maybe we meet up and get coffee, and we did, and we started dating like that. And I think I had about 5 months remaining in Uganda, and I kind of got sick and had to leave abruptly.
Mhm.
So we decided at that point that we wanted to do long distance and move into trying that out. So we did long distance. Well, I went home to Florida looking for work, U.S. side,
Mhm.
while she was remaining in Uganda.
Yeah.
Wow. That's an interesting story. Somebody asked, how did you meet in Kitugum? So you were in Kitugum, Vivian, and he was in Gulu. What's the distance between Kitugum and Gulu?
Like 2 hour public
Drive.
transport
Yeah,
drive.
like 2 hours by bus or taxi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when you guys were both in those two different towns, how often did you meet? Did you meet at all?
Not really. Actually, we used to just communicate mostly via WhatsApp and Facebook.
Yeah.
And I had a very busy schedule. I was teaching. Sam also had his own, life. And he used to come to Gulu because me, I was actually living in Gulu. I wasn't living in Kitgum. Kitgum has been home, but
Oh,
I
okay.
was working in Gulu by then. So I would stay on my own with my mom. And yeah, whenever he was coming to Gulu, he would always let me know and say, you know what, I'm coming to Gulu. And it wasn't like, I'm coming to see you. That wasn't the case. And, for the first few months, it wasn't like something we were sure that we wanted to do. But there was just that one particular day he came in town and was like, hey, by the way, I'm around and I could take you for coffee. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, let me see. I wasn't so busy, but you have to like play around. I was like, oh, okay, let me see if I have something.
Let me see if I
do.
can fit you
Yet
in.
actually, I can do it.
You joke
Yes.
with those Acholi girls, huh? Hey, they're tough. They're tough to get.
Yeah.
Very, very tricky.
Yeah, so I happened to organize myself. I was with a friend home, and I told her, you know what, there's someone who wants to see me. Let me just go and see this person. Like, and just, I don't know, I'm free. And yeah, I actually walked because the place where he wanted to take me to for coffee was just nearby. So I went and we talked. I think the very first time you took me out for coffee, we didn't even sit down and have like a date. He just wanted to have coffee. Then all of a sudden we are talking, and I'm very scared of him because I look at him and he has all these blue eyes, and I'm like, oh my god, this person is so white, so blue eyes, and I'm like, oh wow. I didn't know what to say. He actually saw that I was scared, and I was like, wasn't talking so much, but we didn't talk for long. He had to leave abruptly. We didn't even have our coffee. coffee, and then he left, and I was like, wow, okay, this person is not serious at all.
Yeah, it was kind of like not the best first date, but we were both intrigued anyways, and like, okay, maybe we just give it a try, and we kind of talked for a few weeks, and then decided to do dinner again, and we were a lot more opened up, less nervous.
Yeah. So maybe like after a few months, no, maybe like a month. Let me say, maybe for the next 1 month, we kept chatting, but it wasn't like the conversations were not so much flowing because, we were both on and off with each other. So, yeah, by that time he came from Kampala. You had a meeting in Kampala. Then when you came to Gulu, you told me about it. And I was like, dinner sounds good. So this time around, I was hoping, okay, I hope it won't be like the other coffee, which we didn't have. So, and that evening was amazing. It was more of a date, and he opened up so much. We really talked, we laughed, we didn't even know how time was just, passing. And before I knew it, I was like, for sure, that was the day I saw that he was happy, and he was very excited that I had come, and we had this conversation where we were both free with each other and not scared anymore, and it was really fun.
Yeah, that was a real first date right there.
Yeah. He told me it was on that night that he learned that, okay, I'm interested in this person, and I think I want to,
So who popped, like who showed interest first? If you were both to be honest, would you say, that coffee time, I felt something for this dude, but I wasn't sure whether I should shoot my shot, Oh,
that was me.
that was Vivian.
I didn't know. I was scared. I was like, he's not serious, but he looks good. And then I don't know. And I really didn't know, but I liked him. So I kind of, whenever he contacted me, I would just talk to him. And if I felt I needed to talk to somebody as like a guy, I would actually text him. And and I kept poking him back. So that kind of worked for me. So.
And you, Sam, so when was it that you felt like a spark in your relationship with Vivian?
It was that dinner that we had. We got along really well, and Vivian carried herself in a different kind of way. She's a very principled person and wants to talk things out and wants to make sure that we have discussed everything, which I really liked. So we had gotten together and had that discussion about where we were going forward, which is, I think, is a really unique trait to be able to say, no, these are the boundaries that we're having. This is the way we should go forward. And I really liked that. I really thought it was a serious person. I mean, I thought at that time she was a very serious person to get into a long-term relationship with. And I was right.
Anyway, guys, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're one of my friends who've already subscribed to my channel, Sam and Vivian have a YouTube channel. They recently started YouTube not long ago, but so that they can share these stories with us and with the rest of the world. So many of us, I remember when we were applying for the Fiancée visa many years ago, we didn't really know that you could go on YouTube and read people's stories and actually get to know and get some tips and answers. So, but I like this because most people are sharing their personal stories and experiences, and this is very, very helpful. So if you're looking into such things, love stories, connection stories, like how people meet, how have they been able to handle different biracial relationships, please, yes, you can go out and check on Sam and Vivian's YouTube channel, subscribe, follow them. You can ask them any questions. They'll be able to answer whenever they get time. Of course, we're on YouTube, but we have different lives as well. We work, we do all these other kinds of things. But when we get a chance, we definitely answer your questions. So, what's the name of the YouTube channel? It's Sam and Viv, just like you see it on their names on the screen. Gloria, that's the YouTube channel. So please go there and support them. I hope and pray to see their channel grow, hit 1,000 subscribers, because I love their stories. It just like reminds me of like those days when I was like dating, and it like reminds me of my own story because we're like the same. He married an American guy, and how he also was in Uganda, not as a Peace Corps, but it's like the same story all over again. So please go check them out and support them and subscribe to their channel as well. Let's see. Somebody has questions here. Wow. And what's the name of their channel? Yeah, so that's the name of the channel, as you can see on the screen. That's Sam and Viv. If you go on YouTube, you'll see it. I'll also put it in the description here when we're done in the video, in the description of this video. I'll leave there. I'll pin the first comment of their YouTube channel name. Hi, host and everybody. Hi, EK. How are you doing? Yeah, I know you're in Texas. Am I right? I might be wrong. Well, that's the name of the channel. Cool. Here, yes, thanks for bringing up over. It was fun watching and hearing their story. Awesome. Awesome, Liz. All right, guys. So share with us what was your how was your process like getting like, so when Sam left Uganda, came back to the US, how did that process work? So you were in a long distance relationship for how long, and when did you actually start processing you guys getting married and stuff?
Mm-hmm. Well, so I returned May 2019 to the US, and I started looking for work because we knew in order to start on a visa process that you needed to have some source of income. And so I was looking for a job for a long time. So
Right.
We started our journey together with just kind of like pretty much only faith in it. You know, I wasn't getting a lot of traction with the jobs I was applying to, and we were just kind of like, let's keep going. We just have faith in this and keep going. So we did, video calls, mostly WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger while we were apart, and did what we could to maintain it. Tried to talk every day, read books together, and kind of with the idea that we would end up getting engaged and married. Yeah, that was like our forward goal. So things were going on really well, and
how long was that time before? Yeah, so like from when you left Uganda, came back to the US, then how long was your long distance relationship?
When we started dating, that was December 2018. That's when we officially declared that we were boyfriend and girlfriend. So we started New Year's together, 2019. We dated for 3 months. Then he left Uganda. And even with the 3 months, I was in Uganda, he was in Uganda, but it was still long distance because we were in different cities. Yeah. I eventually left Bulu and went to Kampala. I was working with Watoto Church, one of the schools. So it was just after I left Bulu and went to Kampala that he had to leave Uganda. So we dated 3 months. And to me, I thought that was going to be the end of the relationship. For sure, I didn't know what would happen if he had gone back to the US. So we dated until the 3 months.
Yeah, it was like 5 because we went December to May pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I came back, looked for work, and from May to December, because we wanted to do something for Christmas. We were trying to get her a tourist visa to come this side and meet my family, but we got denied the tourist visa, and so then I was like, okay, well, I got to get out to Uganda, and decided that would be a good trip for us to get engaged. So I got a ring, flew out to Uganda, and got my tourist visa for Uganda, which is a little bit easier to get.
Yeah.
I know.
Come to the US. And then went and saw her after, I think that was probably May to December, 7 months or 8 months, like that.
And he had told me that he made it clear that he wasn't ready to take the next step until we had dated for at least a year. He needed to be sure, whom he was dating. And, I was like, okay, fine. I agree with you. If it's going to take 1 year for us to date before anything, because for me, I was already seeing a lot in him. And one of these visitations, you're praying for a man, praying for marriage, and then one day you get that clear voice telling you that this is your husband. I had one of those things, and I knew for sure that he was the one. So I didn't care how long it was going to take for him to propose. But then when he was flying to Uganda, he told me that, you know what, I'm coming, and I'm coming with a ring. Don't you be surprised. I'm coming with a ring to propose. And
Sam, that was very romantic.
I know. No, that's not how I pictured it, I thought it would be this big thing, and then all of a sudden stop traffic, kneel down and propose. Vivian. And then he told me clearly, Vivian, I'm coming with a ring, and don't be surprised, I'm going to propose. I was like, wow.
So you're like, okay. So next time I see him, he better have that ring.
Yeah.
So went out, and I think it's kind of different culturally because she was really hesitant. You don't really go home to the family until you get married in Uganda, from my interpretation. Where in the US, it's a little bit different. We're a little bit like you could take your girlfriend home or boyfriend home before you get married. So since we were just getting engaged, we met with her mom and met with her family, told them the path forward. So it was we had to mesh the two cultures a little bit. And people were supportive, which we were really thankful for. It made it a lot easier to go forward. And so we had a good visit in Uganda and got engaged, and then we went back in a long distance.
Yeah. Now
with no end in sight.
Yeah.
With no end in sight.
Oh my God.
So how was that for you guys? Was there, for anybody who's maybe in long distance relationship and is watching or will be watching your story, how was it for you guys? How did you keep it burning? How did you keep it attractive to each other? What are the tips you could give somebody?
Well, it's very hard. And I guess the best way to keep it moving forward is have a set goal in mind and have at least some idea of when it's going to stop, like when you're going to get together, and that will be the end of it. And also have some kind of, for us, prayer and reading. We had Bible studies that were really helpful to us because it set a good foundation and calmed us down and kept us hopeful looking forward. So those would be my tips for surviving distance.
Yeah.
So from the time you guys got engaged, so what happened next after you got engaged? So Sam, you came back. I'm assuming you started filing for fiancé visa and all that stuff. How long did that process take before Vivian could join you?
I didn't start filing immediately.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah, we had that. Go ahead.
He had to get a job, so he used to apply like very many times. He applied for jobs until, for me, I just kept pushing him and encouraging him. You know what? Don't give up. Keep applying, and we're going to pray for this job. And then I was always surrounded with friends who were very supportive and who knew that I was in this relationship with Sam, and they would always tell me, Vivian, we're praying for you guys, and just know it's going to work out. So he later got the job, and then that's when he applied. It also happens that was around the time COVID happened, when you got your job. Right?
It was all pretty scary. COVID hit in like April, and then we're like, oh man, don't have work yet, haven't started applying for the visa yet. And then just within 2 months after that, I got work, immediately applied for the visa, and it was kind of nice to get things in that way moving forward.
Yeah.
Because we were just kind of going off of faith that I would get work and that we would get the visa. So at least that process went forward.
Yeah.
And then it took, we applied in June 2020 for the visa, and then finally got it in October 2021.
So that's almost like a year and more than a year. It took us more than a year to get the visa.
Wow. How long did it take? Yeah, I think the whole COVID thing also made things very, very slow. So when you applied in June of 2020, when did you hear back from the embassy that they've received your application or they've started working on it? How long did that take?
Well, there are many different points. Like they update you with it along the way because it goes from one office to another in the U.S. and they let you know about it. So it was a couple months of waiting while it was in the U.S. Actually, a lot of months of waiting while
it was in Feb of 2021 that we first got the first message
that it got to
that it had been received.
Kenya.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So June 2020 to Feb 2021 was about the time it remained in the U.S. and then it finally went over to Kenya. And so you're just month after month of not hearing anything and calling offices with hour-long waits, 2-hour-long waits for a phone call, just to be told, just to keep waiting.
Yeah.
So do that month in, month out.
Yeah. If anybody's watching and is maybe wondering, so if let's say you're in the same situation like Viv and Sam were in, so you're probably wondering what paperwork did you have to submit? Sam, you don't have to say everything, but what are those things that you remember that you had to actually submit in that process for the process to actually begin?
You have to compile a packet just to kind of justify or show that you have a legitimate relationship. So it is the K1 Fiancée visa, and it ends up being the entire packet itself could end up being like 30 or 40 pages of evidence that you've actually met. So you have plane tickets, you have pictures, you have
everything. Text messages.
Yeah. And you just kind of have to show that you've been in the same place together. And even receipts of the ring I got her, because I guess they don't want people not meeting each other before applying for this, because you have a lot of relationships going through. But so yeah, there's the legal stuff from the government that you have to do, and it's just a lot of background information on each person, and then you have to show that you can financially support somebody, that it's legitimate.
Yeah. So I guess that's why it helps you having a job, because I'm assuming Vivian was a teacher and probably hadn't been working for too long either, so she hadn't made a whole bunch of savings, and you're just starting to work. So but they always want to see that source of income, especially if you're coming to live in the US. If you're going to be able to afford, let's say, your accommodation, like your rent or mortgage or whatever, to sustain the both of you in the US and not to be a government problem. They would say. So those
they
are
don't want to take any immigrants in if they're going to be problems to the system.
Yeah. And if you guys who are watching and you have so many different questions, you can always just go on the website, on the US government website. Make sure you can read all the documents that you need for different types of visas. So like for these guys, it was a fiancé visa. It was actually the same exact one for me as well. And I remember getting here, you had to get married within the first 90 days. So I think that's still the same. So when you guys came, how did you arrange for that wedding within the 90 days? Was it like a legit wedding? Do you actually have that story on your channel that people can go watch it, you can let us know.
Well, we'll do the K1 process too on our channel, and the wedding process too. But you want to tell them
Yeah,
about
I think those would be good videos.
Well, I I don't know, but I trusted Sam throughout all this process because
Yeah.
even while he was doing a lot with filing for the K1 visa, I was also busy. I'd actually gone back to school. I was doing my master's at Makerere and I was really busy. So he did a lot, and I knew that when I came to the US, we would have to, organize and do that the wedding, something small. We had actually planned for a beach wedding, but uh, that was to come later. So the first thing we agreed was to do a courthouse marriage, and we informed the parents. The family were aware about it, and my family was aware about it too. So when Sam came to Uganda to pick me, we had a small ceremony. I would call it kuchala, but most people understand it like that. Yes. Yeah, we just had a small courthouse wedding, and that was it for us.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's all it takes. And then you get the certificate, of course, and then because you have to submit that in for people who might be wondering. You submit that, and then that's when they start processing your now green card and work authorizations, things like that. So now you start being legal in the United States. That's all they require. The rest of the like the fancy wedding stuff can come later at your own expenses, but they don't care about that. They just need that record that you guys were actually officially and legally married in the US, and then they keep that on their file. Okay. So Vivian, how was the process for you in Kenya? Because I know that interviews are done in Kenya. How did you find that process?
It was really challenging because I don't know, I was a bit lucky because during the time when my interview was scheduled, we were in another phase of lockdown in Uganda. But it happened that the time when I scheduled for the interview, the lockdown was lifted a week before. So I was able to travel to Kenya on my own. I was very scared. I wasn't vaccinated. I was scared, and COVID was kind of still challenging. So I flew to Nairobi. It was my first time on a plane. You can imagine that excitement. A very small plane, but I was very happy and
Trust
excited.
me, everybody begins from somewhere. You'd be surprised, even so many Americans here. It's like a big percentage that has never been on a plane. So I always tell my friends, I'm like, like, yeah, you say you're from Africa, like first time on a plane, and you're like in your 20s. It's normal.
So I happened to be connected. Liz actually connected me to the Mwakazis. They were very
Nice.
wonderful. They really took care of me, and I really appreciate. I'm so grateful I met them. So I stayed in Nairobi with the Mwakazis family for 3 weeks. During the time, Mwakazi was very helpful. He actually drove me and took me around, and even the day of the interview, and there was also medical exam. It was all hard, but I guess the support I had from them, plus Sam and my friends and family, and a few people who had gone through the same process. I actually met a couple of Ugandan girls, two of them, who were also in Kenya for the same. We worked things together, and yeah, we did the interview. I passed, I got my approval, and then I had to return to Uganda and pack my things and, prepare to travel to the US. I was like, it was hard, but yeah, I managed. I had the faith that this was it. I had to do it one way or the other. Yeah.
I had muted myself. Someone was at the front door.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's, I mean, it's nice when you have connections. Honestly, they kind of help you make the process easier a little bit. That's the same thing for me in Kenya as well. I had a friend who connected me to her sister who was able, because Nairobi is expensive. So, and like the whole process does not take just about like a day and you're done. It could take like 3 days, 4 days. You have to do a whole bunch of different blood work
Yeah.
tests. So, and all those are actually expensive. They do, I don't remember, but they do like 5 blood tests
Yeah.
and you have to pay cash, you
Yeah. They
know.
have vaccinations as
Yeah, and then you wait until you get the results, and they have like specific labs too that you have to go to. They're recommended by the embassy, I think, just so that they make sure it's legitimate.
well.
It's like legit results that they're getting back. So like things like HIV, you can read about all those things in case you're wondering. But they have different tests that you have to do before you actually um, guaranteed that visa. And just because they say, okay, you've been approved for the visa interview in Nairobi, does not immediately qualify you to actually get that okay, now I have my visa, I'm just going to Nairobi to pick it. No, it's like another interview. I found
Yes.
it as intimidating as the other one in Kampala as well. You like sit there and it's like, I mean, at that point they have all the paperwork, but in that point of the process it's more on the details of your fiance, especially if your fiance is American. So they
Mm.
have like all the details from him, from his family. I remember my husband's family had to write, backup letters because my husband
Mm.
was the same. He just graduated from college, had just started working. So, but even your parents could back up to say, yes, we know about our son's relationship and we're also willing to chip in and take care of them whenever we can,
Mhm.
however we can. So those are some of like the backup information, if you guys are wondering, that you can attach to your fiance visa application process as well, from the side of the guy or whoever is like the American in the relationship. Um, oh my
And
gosh,
to
I'm like,
touch on the Wakazis as well, they were so helpful because it can be really intimidating
Yeah.
mhm,
going into a new country, especially a bustling city like Nairobi.
Mm.
And, Swahili is predominantly spoken there.
Yeah.
So that can be,
yes.
I think you can underestimate landing there and not being able to speak the language so well, not knowing your way around can be very intimidating, especially if you've never flown.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. Yes, it can be. I mean, it's like any other foreign place. If you
Mhm.
know nobody there, it can be challenging. Even in
Mhm.
different states, like in the US, you go to New York, you feel lost. You're like, what do I do? Where do I go? You're like, I've lived in this country forever, but you're just as foreign as it gets.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. If you have any questions for Viv and Sam, please go check out their YouTube channel and you can send them an email. They also have an IG account, it's in the same names. You guys can definitely go there and inbox them any of your questions. But the questions will not be, can you get me a Muzungu? It's fine. It's fine. If Sam has some friends who,
Yeah.
of course, are Bazungu friends, I'm
Yeah, we'll
sure he
start
can
getting
hook
them
you
on
up.
the show.
But that is like, I literally just got that question the other day of this exact thing. Like a guy sent me a friend request on Facebook and I approved it and immediately said, hey, I went through your profile. Can you hook me up with a Muzungu lady to marry? I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
yes, I should start that business soon.
No,
um, this
insane.
is Africa. Thanks for joining. I hope you're okay. He's also um, Kenyan by marriage, but he's
Oh,
American, but he's married to a Kenyan lady. So I
oh,
call that's why he says we call him This is Africa, but he's
Mm.
Kenyan by marriage is one of his other channel names.
KBM.
Yeah, KBM. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, I know.
Um, so what would you guys love to share with us? What else? But about different cultures. How has it been for you, Vivian? How have you been able to adjust? I don't want to hear all the crazy stories whereby you're getting burnt on the stove or like all those Muzungu black stories.
Oh, well, I'm learning, and
Yeah.
Sam is a very patient. person. He
Mm.
understands when I can't prepare an American meal. And the fact that he stayed in Uganda for 3 years, when I do
Mm-hmm.
something crazy, he understands that it's Ugandan or African, whatever. Yeah. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and we are very comfortable with each other. So there's always room for growth, room for
Yes.
mistakes, very understanding. Yeah. And he's really been very supportive. So I'm getting along with things very well.
Mhm.
Yeah. How was his family like for you, Sam?
Um,
You have the same share of questions, but this
yeah.
is this is Vivian's side.
Okay.
How was the family welcoming for you?
Well, when I came to the US, we live in North Carolina, and Sam's parents are not here. So I met them a day before we got married. And yeah, it's crazy, but it happened. And they've been very supportive. Even while I was still in Uganda, I used to communicate with them. His mom is so loving. She's my other mother I never had, and she's so sweet, and the dad is very supportive, everyone. So that alone helped a lot. It made me so
Mm-hmm.
comfortable, and I know that there are other people I can run to if I needed to talk to them, if I needed any help, the sister-in-law, everyone. It's the best part of my coming this side, apart from being with him.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's nice. How about for you, Sam? How was it like for you? Um, you know, getting up, going to Uganda, and knocking on Vivian's door, parents' door, and asking for a hand in marriage. What was going through your head?
Panic. But I'd been in Uganda for long enough that I was pretty comfortable
Mm-hmm.
with her culture,
Mm-hmm.
and I got along well with people, and kind of had a good understanding of how things went and
Yeah.
how to be respectful and get along with people. And it was easy. Her family is really supportive, anyways, and they've been flexible with the differences and me coming in. And yeah, I just was very well received by them, and we had a lot of success in all of our communications with them moving
Yeah.
forward. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you go through stages of culture shock a lot, and
Yeah, every now and again, yes,
in
yeah.
Uganda and trying to understand everything, but then you get more used to things as you go.
Yeah.
And it was actually those experiences of culture shock that helped me with her transition too. Here we were able to talk through a lot of the different stuff of why is this person doing something like this, or why aren't they doing things like this.
Mm.
It actually helped us really have good conversations about it and try
Absolutely.
to
Yeah.
try to find a middle ground,
Mm.
of not fully American culture, not fully
Ugandan, but
Northern Ugandan
but
culture.
we balance.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
you got to
nice.
kind of negotiate a middle ground.
That's nice. That's nice. All right. What was the most exciting uh what excited you about Uganda? Like now you look back and you're like, these are the things I really loved in you about Uganda, Sam. Apart from, of course, getting a beautiful princess from there, but
Yes. Apart from
what
that,
else?
I love I love the way people are with each other, and I felt that my time there kind of ignited my soul a little bit in all the interactions with people, how much people care about each other and how much you talk to each other. It makes you really more comfortable with yourself and
Hmm.
more comfortable with other people, and just the way people perceive their own lives. And it just kind of changed. I mean, it did change my perspective on the world, and
Yeah.
I really appreciate northern Uganda for that. Really,
Hmm. Hmm.
my
Hmm.
my heart is in northern Uganda as well. I love the U.S. Don't get me wrong, but it's
Hmm.
also northern Uganda. Every time I go there, I'm excited, and even just within Uganda, the air is kind of like, they say this is the land of the free, home of the brave, but Uganda is like you're free in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
You're
Hmm.
free to be yourself. Really,
Hmm.
people
Hmm.
are so much
Hmm.
more supportive of you being yourself, which I
Hmm.
loved. and I still love that. So
Did you at any point feel foreign in Uganda? Was there any moment where you felt foreign?
not any moment, but every
Every
moment.
moment.
In fact, the best parts was when I forgot that I was foreign. There were kind of key moments where you kind of learn the local language a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
Luo in northern Uganda, and when you're speaking with people and people get to know you, then you kind of forget about it. There were a few key moments where I forgot about it, and those were very like vivid memories in my head. But most of the time, it's kids saying "mono, mono, mono."
Mono means it's like Mzungu.
Yeah.
So.
So they're
Yes, I
definitely.
don't want to laugh because I'll start coughing too much.
You're definitely reminded of that, but
Yeah.
people warm up to you. The markets will stop giving you the Mzungu price, as we say, and they'll see that you're trying local language. You're around for some time, and people will treat you like
And
a
they'll
local.
be shocked. He speaks Ocholi. Okay, we'll not disturb him. So time comes and he's living like a normal Ugandan.
Yep.
Right. Right. But other than that, you would say you had a great experience in Uganda and you would go back anytime.
Oh yeah, I'd love
Okay.
going back there. I'd love going back there. It's only, I mean, COVID is the only thing that's like makes traveling stressful right now. And when I go back to Uganda, because I just went back recently, the most recent time in October, to pick her up after the K1 visa was done, and it was again like Mzungu wa.
It's like Mzungu wa Kichaga, that's Swahili. Mhm.
But yeah, I love Uganda, and it was like a vacation going back there and hearing the language again and seeing the way people are again. And especially in COVID, people have become very tense through COVID, and I would say
Yeah.
they're less tense in Uganda. Though
Yeah.
at some level they're still a bit.
So, Viv, how has it been for you now in the US? What has been those culture shock moments for you since you got here? I mean, you've not been here for too long, and now it's winter, and you guys are probably trying to get back on your feet, work, and all this stuff. You don't have too much luxury time to travel and do a whole bunch of different sightseeing. But how has been the time for you so far in the US?
Well, I've really enjoyed being here so far, and it's that kind of life you've been dreaming for and dreaming about, and all of a sudden I'm here and adjusting very well. I love the neighborhood. I love the houses here. Everything. I just feel like it's a different life, but at this point I have to adjust. Like people drive here so fast, and I've never taken time to learn how to drive like while in Uganda, but now I have to learn, and time comes and I have to do things on my own. I still get scared when I meet so many people and I have to talk to them because I don't know, like, okay, are they going to understand me if I start speaking like Anacholi with my accent, or should I have to start, learning how? Like, but there are times when I met people out and I just became free. I just, poured out myself and talked to them and received the best reception. So I love the food. Food has never been a problem. This one I can always say. Brenda, I have eaten things that I've never thought I could
What
eat. And
have you
I enjoy.
eaten? Shrimp,
I ate mussels.
octopus.
I ate shrimps, and I'm like, wow, okay, there's another part of the world and life is this exciting. And I'm like, wow, let's go along with it. We'll flow with it like that. And I really love it. Internet is good. That was
Yeah.
one problem when I was in Uganda. We had an 8-hour difference.
Yeah.
So most times it's my night, like 10 p.m. in Uganda, and it's like 4 p.m. here in US, and we have to talk. And then before, all of a sudden, internet cuts off. So I just love that I'm now free to talk to Sam the way I want. I
Yeah.
wake up and he's there. We eat lunch together. The gap is no longer that big. And yeah, moving was okay. It was something I
Mhm.
wanted to do. Although sometimes I miss home, I miss my family, and
Of
everything
course,
is
yeah.
different. Yeah, but I love it so far. It's good.
That's
Mm.
good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I mean, like what I could tell you, share from my side of things, um, just be who you are. You know, when you go out with
Mm.
Sam and you meet Sam's friends, um, sometimes you don't have to talk about things if you don't have to talk about them. So you'll find that you don't put yourself in a corner whereby you're like,
Mm.
oh, I wonder if I say the right thing, you know, or
Mm.
I wonder, because, you know, some people know things, some people know about Africa, so you'll be surprised. So I always say, talk about what you're comfortable talking
Yeah.
about.
Mm.
So it helps you to have a flowing conversation. If they have a topic that you know of, you can always join in. I mean, be who you are. If you're a quiet person, you're a quiet person, you know. So if you're like, I am not a quiet person. My husband says I can say hello to butterflies. He's like, Brenda, I swear to God, you could be outside talking to trees. And he's the other opposite of me. Like you could pass by him, he just looks at you and he keeps going. You're like, hey, you, what's up? It's like, oh, me, hi, you
Right.
know.
And that's it.
So, but be who you are. But the most important part is when you're in a foreign country, you're
Mm.
not foreign anymore. You have Sam. Just think of how he was when he was in Uganda. It's the same exact
Yeah.
thing like you are in right now. So you have a best friend, you have a person that you can talk to freely. So as you stay together, you learn everybody's, you know, comfort place and not comfort place, you know, how to give each other distance because it will get to
Mm.
a point where like, like, like I want to like strangle you, but you can. You're in the same space, you're like this. You get pissed with each other, but that's like the best person you can always talk to, and they will understand you. They know how you wake up, how moody you are every day, or if you're a morning person,
Mm.
you get to know each other way better and better, and
Mm.
life will be good. You
Yeah.
know, be comfortable talking about if anything. I remember one of the mistakes I did when I moved here. You know, whenever I went out with my husband's friends, they were all like PhD students, and um, they'll be talking about science, you know, and like viruses and stuff.
Oh.
And I feel like I don't know too much about viruses. So I'll just sit there and feel like I don't have friends, or I tried to make sure that his friends were my friends, but it doesn't have to be that way, you know. So if you can, like, I don't know what you love to do. If you love running or exercising, you can join things like the gym and make your own
Mm.
friends as well.
Mm.
So that increases your circle. And then your friends start also to like know Sam, just like you're starting to know his friends as well. But if his friends are welcoming, you can always like, you know, easily hang out with them as well.
Mm.
You guys together, but don't feel like his friends have to be your friends. Oh,
Mm.
like he can say, oh, Vivian, your friends have to be my friends.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So you all like, because you're two different personalities. So what he likes might not be what you like sometimes, but it's okay to be accommodative of each other's, you know, ways. And that's how you get to understand. Like, I love to go out to dance, my husband doesn't. So he'd be like, I haven't seen you go out in forever. What's happening? I was like, I know. I'm getting old, I think.
Oh.
Or I haven't seen you go out with your Ugandan friends. What's happening?
Mm.
Because he just knows, like, I just can't stay in a place where I'm not talking to people, or I'm not socializing and things like that. So, but it
Mm.
takes time to know your partner. And
Yeah.
that's how you get to know what makes them happy. You know, you get to know when they're not happy, when they're happy, and things like that, so that, you know, the loneliness doesn't come up, catch up with whoever is like homesick, and you're like, ah. I don't think this is what I signed up for. I miss my friends. I miss my family. Time to go back. I'm not used to every day being in the house or going to work, coming into the house every single day. You guys find things to do, even if it's just like to go out and get some coffee together, just to get out of the house. Small things, you know.
Small things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But others, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. All right,
Yeah.
guys. It's at top of the hour. I don't know what else you wanted to share with whoever is watching. You guys didn't even ask questions, but there was a question somebody asked on my wall. I think he said, "Would you guys be looking forward to moving back to, let's say, Uganda and investing in Uganda?"
Yeah, it's definitely in the hopes. I guess we're still young, so we want to establish our family and our foothold
Yeah.
in one place, and then see where we can go after that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Work kind of ties you down, ties both
Yeah.
of us down. Though we
Yeah.
hope to get somewhere with YouTube, with other things, and be able to expand like that. Uganda's
Mm-hmm.
great.
Mm-hmm,
We'd love to
mm-hmm.
go back.
Vivian, try to volunteer even when you're not finding a job yet. Try to volunteer in different places, like you're a teacher. So many schools here will actually take you in
Yeah.
to just like volunteer. You could start with maybe like after school programs, you getting to know kids, um, so I remember when I came, it was hard for me to get a job at the beginning because you fill in all these applications. You don't have a US school background or work experience. So what I did, I volunteered in an interfaith organization, which was a Pennsylvania, Philadelphia-based organization, but they were dealing with different religious cultures. So it's an organization that brings together Muslims, Christians, and like all the what are they called? The guys who have the Jewish community. Yeah. So I volunteered there. I wasn't getting paid really, but they would give me like a bonus sometimes. But it was more to also expand my people that I could talk to every day, instead of just being home. And then I volunteered in like Obama campaigns. So I went around like looking for votes for Obama at that time, like years ago. But it was just things to get me out of the house, meet people, expand my knowledge about different things. Um, so that's another way. But for you, that will put your foot in if you're not looking at starting school right away. Some people go that route, but I know you need money to be able to start school again because you won't probably qualify for like community college, free programs yet because you're not a citizen yet. But volunteer in different things, even if it's like animal shelter. All those things will give you more confidence in yourself, being able to talk to people, do different things. So just put yourself out there for whatever comes and see what happens instead
Do
of
you have
waiting for
any
the right time. Yeah.
Do you have any references for like websites you looked for those volunteer things at, or how you found
Yeah.
things?
Well, let's see. When was that? That was like 2000 and what? And seven. It's a long time ago, Sam. But what you can do, I know you can just go online, honestly, and Google volunteer places. Even when you just are walking around, like I would go like walk around downtown, walk into a store. I remember I walked into what was it? It was like a dog place. Like they had animals in it, an animal shelter place. I said, hey, and some even have we're looking for help. Like right now, most people have stickers of we're looking for help. So
Mhm.
I'll just go in. I'm like, hey, do you guys need help? Places like CVS, even like places like Rite Aid, like any of those places that don't need like a lot of qualifications, but it's just a starting point for you to be out.
Mhm.
But you could look up, like, even in your school district, you could say North Carolina School District volunteer opportunities. And see what comes up. Even hospitals, like children hospitals, always like look for people who want to volunteer for places like that. Or churches, if you guys go to church every Sunday, you can also talk to like your pastors and see if they can hook you up with any volunteer programs. So there's so many you can look, and then call and also visit the places to make sure they're legit places, and then start from there. But if I see anything, I would definitely send it your way, guys. But you need to get out. You need to get out. And you could also, if you have time, you could do online programs which are free, like online courses which are free, but they give you like a small certificate, but it could be in different things that you're looking to maybe to advance yourself in later. You could do marketing, public relations, or even teaching. I know Harvard runs like free programs online. They don't give you a degree or a diploma, but they give you a certificate of recognition or something. But at least it puts you into the picture of how it would be like if you were to go back to school, and some of those programs help you as well.
True.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brenda.
You're welcome. I'm here anytime. If you guys need me, I'm always available. You have my number. If you just want to chat, you have a sister here as well. If you guys want to come to the East Coast and freeze your butts off, I'm here as well. And enjoy the snow, which lasts for months. You can always come visit us. We could go to Hershey Park. The chocolate factory is close by us, maybe 2 hours away. But you can always come for a weekend and visit, and we explore different parts of the world.
Yeah.
You say East Coast, what state?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like right on the border of New Jersey and Philadelphia and New York City. I'm in a small town called Doylestown.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, the Bucks County. Yeah. So it's about like an hour and a half for me to get to New York City driving. On a train is about 45 minutes.
Oh.
New Jersey is about an hour for me, or maybe even 45 minutes. Yeah, so I'm like right there. You're like in the middle of different places. Philadelphia is about 45 minutes from here, but I lived in Philly when I first came. Arrived in the US. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey guys, I don't see any more questions. I see so many people chatting in here. Dr. Harry, nice to have you. My Kenyan friend. My gosh, I'm going to start coughing. Since I got COVID, I forgot workout, but I do some evening runs. Okay. Hey guys, I might have to end this. My cough is coming in. But thank you guys so much for joining us today. I pray for you. I'm here if you need me. Please, guys, go check out Sam and Vivian's channel. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Let me mute myself for a second.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go. I'm like dying. I'm not dying, I'm alive, but but thank you, Sam and Viv. What any last remarks you want to say to anybody who's watching? That would be great.
Thank you, Brenda, for the platform. And yeah, everybody check out our channel, and we'd love to have more conversations with everybody over there. Thanks for tuning in with us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you so much. Take care. Don't forget to go subscribe if you're new here. Please subscribe as well. But mostly check out Sam and Vivian, and let's keep supporting each other.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Take care.